Conquest versus Nappa, a Viltrumite against a Saiyan warrior. No doubt about it, these two are going to be going all out in this fight. They're going to be entirely going for the kill. But who's going to be coming out on top? Who will be the last one standing? Well, let's break it down. Conquest was born on the planet Viltrum as one of the few warriors who survived the devastating Scourge virus. Because of this, well, he was left vulnerable for a while, was attacked by Ragnars, losing his arm, being blinded in his right eye. But that didn't stop Conquest. He's still one of the most powerful warriors that the Viltrumites have, boasting that there isn't a world he can't conquer, and anyone who stands against him will die. So like any other Viltrumite, Conquest's body is entirely made up of smart atoms, molecularly the same as normal atoms, but they give access to all sorts of powers on the atomic level. And Viltrumites are unique because they can use smart atoms for a whole lot of different powers: super strength, super speed, flight, and they're the only race in the universe to have smart atoms literally encoded inside their DNA. That's what makes them so powerful. And Conquest is one of the best and most powerful out there. He's ridiculously strong, able to easily and handedly overpower Invincible. He was launching Invincible all around the world with each punch that he threw out. He crushed Mark's hand, shattered his leg, just left him completely broken after their fight. Then they had their second fight too, where they carved a canyon the size of the Grand Canyon as they were battling it out. And Conquest was so strong, he was able to punch straight through Invincible, literally impaling him and disemboweling him in the process. And it's not just Invincible that Conquest was able to fight against either. He was able to fight against Omni-Man, and Nolan was scared to fight him. And Conquest is also more powerful than other Viltrumites like Anissa too. But that's not even the most impressive thing that Conquest ever did. Right after his first Battle of Invincible, where Conquest was left pretty beaten and broken, well, he casually broke out of a cage that Cecil was confident would be impossible. Conquest casually flexed his way out of 400 tons of pure tempered steel, then plowed his way through 6 miles of earth. Made it look easy too. And just like all other Viltrumites, well, Conquest isn't just ridiculously strong, but he's also superhumanly tough and nearly impossible to be put down. He's able to take all sorts of punches and attacks from Invincible. A lot of these attacks did absolutely nothing to Conquest, left him smiling afterwards. See, Conquest loves a good fight, and he was egging Invincible on just because he wanted to have an actual fight and take some actual hits along the way. And Invincible really let him have it. He was taking some devastating attacks as the fight went on, just like Invincible was taking some devastating attacks from Conquest. And it ended with Conquest getting hit with an atomic explosion, having all of his skin burned off, and Invincible used his head to finish the job. Absolutely brutal. But it ended with Conquest actually recovering in just a few days, then going right back at it. Invincible had to do it all over again in order to actually put Conquest down for good. He is a ridiculously hard man to beat in a fight, and actually, finally, permanently kill. And then here's the kicker too. Conquest is ridiculously fast, just like all Viltrumites. See, Viltrumites are able to move way faster than the speed of light as they travel around. In fact, Omni-Man is fast enough to be able to fly across galaxy clusters, possibly even reaching up to billions of times the speed of light. It's been said before that for Viltrumites, well, their travel speed and combat speed is supposedly the exact same. and that applies to Conquest too. Not only is he able to fight at incredibly fast speeds against Invincible and Omni-Man, but he can actually blitz and blow up spaceships as they're traveling at the speed of light. So yeah, Conquest is stupid fast. Yeah, Conquest is stupid powerful. One of the strongest Saiyans to ever live, Nappa was a general of the Saiyan army and the aide to the young Prince Vegeta. After his racist demise though, Nappa worked as a soldier under Frieza, before making his way to Earth in hopes to gain immortality through use of the Dragon Balls. And that's where he met fellow Saiyan Goku and the Z Fighters, and showed off just how bloody and brutal he can truly be. When he first arrived on Earth, Nappa showed off some seriously tremendous power, literally incinerating an entire city, and it only went up from there. He was able to fight against the Z Fighters, knocking out Piccolo, knocking around Gohan and Krillin and stunning them with his punches, and he was incredibly brutal with his attacks too. Like Nappa just had no chill. He straight up punched Tien's arm off and proceeded to nearly kill him and beat him to death. And while just like Nappa is ridiculously strong, he's also very, very tough. He's able to take all sorts of attacks from the Z Fighters and keep on going, taking attacks from Krillin and from Piccolo and Tien, and kept on standing through all of it. Some of those attacks, well, Nappa acted like he didn't even feel it. And it's not like these attacks are weak by any means. Piccolo's previously been able to annihilate cities and even blow up moons. His energy blast did basically nothing against Nappa. But of course, then he came across Goku, and Goku was able to rock him. He still tried to fight back, but Goku was absolutely no match for him, even when Nappa was taking the fight seriously. While Goku was still confidently winning. Then Nappa is definitely fast too. He can easily blitz members of the Z Fighters, he can dodge their energy blasts, fly around with ease, but again, met his match with Goku. Goku was able to blitz him, acted like he wasn't even hard in the slightest. But like all Saiyans, well, the biggest thing going for Nappa is his ki power. Nappa sits at a power level of 4,000, and just him powering up is enough to shake the earth around them. He's able to launch out some absolutely devastating energy blasts, more than enough power to hurt or one-shot Z Fighters, straight up kill Piccolo, and absolutely obliterate anything in his path. Seriously, Nappa has some great energy blasts. They're powerful enough to destroy whole cities, and the blast seemed to encompass an entire country as you looked down on it from up in outer space. A lot of other Saiyans might have passed up Nappa by now. They're universal beings at this point. But for his time, well, Nappa was a seriously powerful fighter, an absolutely brutal warrior who wouldn't hold back in any way. So, who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, this is a great fight. Two warriors who will destroy anyone in their path and love every second of doing so. And they're actually really close to each other when it comes to power levels. Conquest is one of the strongest and mightiest Viltrumites. He should definitely be able to replicate all the most impressive feats that other Viltrumites have pulled off. Like Invincible has been able to push around the moons before, Omni-Man was able to divert a meteor the size of Texas. Three of them combined were able to straight up blow up the planet of Viltrum, a planet confirmed to be twice the size of Earth. With just how powerful Conquest was, with how he was able to fight both Invincible and Omni-Man, I don't think it's a stretch to say that he can do a lot of similar stuff when it comes to strength. He's also crazy tough. I mean, I can't tell you how hard it is to actually kill this guy. He's able to keep on fighting through basically any injury, literally any injury, and he'll keep on fighting to his last dying breath. literally. Invincible was choking the life out of him, throwing him and dragging him all around the planet, and Conquest still had enough left in him to punch straight through Invincible, start pulling on his internal organs. Absolutely brutal. But the biggest thing going for Conquest is that he is fast. Fast. Definitely faster than Nappa. He's got a few faster than light speed feats to his name, and all Viltrumites are known for being massively faster than light. Even this fight right here, while Conquest and Invincible were battling around the world and moving so quickly during the fight that even though Cecil and the government were trying to keep track of them through super advanced satellite tracking and near instantaneous teleportation, sometimes they were still 5 minutes late to where they thought Conquest and Invincible were gonna be. That's how fast they were moving in this battle, and Conquest will have no problem using all that speed against Nappa too, and trying to just completely rip Nappa in half in the process. But while Conquest is definitely physically powerful, he might have met his match against Nappa here. I mean, for starters, Nappa is at a power level of 4,000. Other characters are able to do stuff like easily blowing up moons at just a power level of 300. Can you just imagine how much power someone's got at a power level of 4,000? Yeah, it's definitely something. And while you can argue that Conquest might be a bit stronger, it's not by much. Nappa is definitely strong. But the bigger thing is that it doesn't really matter about strength, because Nappa can unleash way more powerful attacks with his key powers. Like a physical fight between Conquest and an Invincible was able to level a city? That's crazy. Nappa casually leveled a city with just one key blast, ended up launching a blast that from outer space looked like it was the size of a country. Like we said, people way weaker than Nappa are able to blow up moons. His key power is definitely a big deal here. It is. Because on one hand, sure, Omni-Man no-sold nuclear bombs. That's crazy. But Conquest was burned alive by an all-out blast from Adam Eve, and that's what allowed Invincible to get in there and finally beat him. So the way I read that, Nappa can definitely hurt Conquest with some key blasts. And while Nappa might not have as many key powers as current day Saiyans, he's definitely got enough to keep Conquest on his toes. He can launch out energy blasts from his eyes, his mouth, his fingers. He can even turn it around and hurt people as they try and block his punches. And this kinda goes against the way that Conquest fights. He likes to get up close and personal with his enemies, opening them up to some well-timed key blasts. But of course, on the other hand, again, Conquest is faster, and he's got no problem completely abusing this speed and trying to stomp Nappa and beat Nappa before he can recover. But I think Nappa has more power, has better attacks. It's even possible that Nappa goes great ape here. We've never seen it happen, but Nappa does have a tail, and he is a Saiyan warrior, so we do know it's possible. And that's a 10 times multiplier right there, making it a way easier win for Nappa. End of the day, this fight is way close, maybe the closest Dragon Ball Invincible fight, to the point where it could go either way. But I think my opinion is that Nappa is just more powerful, and it's a big enough gap to where he can overcome Conquest's speed and his bloodlust and still beat him. Great fight, but I have Nappa coming out on top. Nappa wins.